wants to tame me. You can't catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. It feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, roll like thunder, gonna shake the ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Hi, I'm Wyatt Milam. I'm from Canova, West Virginia. When I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Par-Mar store.
We have that gold and blue pride at your local Par-Mar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar rewards card. Food, gas, groceries, and more. We are gold and blue proud, and we are Par-Mar stores.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Law offices of Mark Plants and Kevin Davis. First line of defense. Buzzballs, ready-to-drink cocktails. Number one single-serve premix brand in the U.S. Buzzballs, have a ball. Hello, and are you ready to have a ball? I know at Buzzballs they are, and they're available at Par-Mar stores as well. Get yourself fired up. Get yourself ready. It's time for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Are you jacked up? Are you excited? I sure hope so, because this is a great opportunity for the Mountaineers. The Mountaineers, when you see these other Big 12 teams at the start of their Big 12 schedule, these other Big 12 teams, they're not quite as strong. Some of them, anyways, don't appear to be as strong as, you know, they were picked out to be. Certainly not all better than 14th pick Mountaineers. So that is something to be said, and something good along with that. What's up, Kelly? How you doing, buddy? All right. Always there, man. Oh, well, tell you what, we got a big day today, and later on, we're going to be going ahead and giving away two tickets for anyone that's subscribed to the YouTube at Wolfley64. But let's get to that in a second, and I'm fired up, man, because the tickets are pretty cool. They're nice, but this is, you know, the Plants and Davis law offices, right? First line of defense game day. It's the game day breakdown the day before, man. It's nothing cooler than that, because we can go ahead and relax and enjoy. Get your information now. Give fire. We got cover two data coming up here. Jeff Davies is just a second. We have Kevin Koken coming on, 1988 team captain. Like I said, we'll probably get Coke to give away the two tickets because he'll enjoy that. And then I'm going to give you a couple of stats, show them to you, and then I'm going to show you the film of Texas Tech. Now, what more do you want in a game day breakdown the day before? What's that, Kelly? You said, I'm ready. All right, brother. I'm ready to see the Mountaineers beat Texas Tech. Yep, I am too. So, Plants and Davis, game day breakdown. And, of course, we go right here to the WolfMan's call. Again, I was talking about this, and let's go ahead and show you at YouTube channel at Wolfley64. Subscribe to it now, man. WolfMan's call is on there. And if you do, you can go ahead about 30 minutes. We'll go ahead and we'll talk about giving away. I might give you a trivia question along that with you as well, just to see. It should be easy. It's kind of a common knowledge one, but I'll give you one of that. And if you go ahead and you subscribe and you like YouTube channel, go in that toolbar, right? You know, the search bar, and subscribe to at Wolfley64, right like that. Okay, very, very good. And with that being said, it's Friday. It's the day before game day breakdown going on. So that means one thing. It has to be covered to data. Jeff Davies. What is up, Jeff?
What's going on, Wolfman? Good to be here again this week. How are you?
I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it, and I love my parlay 3 that I took. You know, I was a little bit of a chicken last week, you know, but I did win my chicken dinner when I only went for 3 of them. And I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's find out what stands out there. And when I look at that, man, I got to show this to you. This is really cool, and so I want you to check this out. And you could, this is exactly what you put up every single week. And when you do this here, and I flip it over, man, look at this. Check this out. Look at that. Penn State, Maryland, Syracuse, your top 3 picks you put on your bar. And what happens when you do that? You go, look at that, baby, man.
There you go. Love to see it. Love to see it.
You know what? What does that pay? That paid $170. $170, man. And I just,
there's a few beers. There's a few beers.
Like I said, I was going with the circles, man, right? You know, and saying, hey, listen, let's stand out here, and it proved out to be good. So, with that being last week, that is over. So, you know, it's always about what have you done for me lately? And with that being said, you know, let's go to BetLines Blitz right now. It is that time, and we're going to start off. What do you got, man?
Yeah, so I mean, just some background again for any new listeners. What we're trying to do is use the advanced stats to highlight games that stick out to us from a statistical perspective, and doing some regression on these first couple slides. And really, if you're above the line, you look like a good bet, and if you're below the line, you look like a bad bet. Mm-hmm. And really, you know, what we kind of do on this slide and the second slide is show the lines. And then the third slide highlights the games that look interesting from an over-under perspective. So if you just want to kind of flip through those, I'll start to get into the games that look interesting this week on the conference slides. And I should mention too, you know, again, just to kind of keep myself honest, you know, we were 12-10 last week. Yep. And, you know, we think that the data will continue to get better as we use more of this year's data. And I do want to highlight to your listeners that, you know, we aren't watching a lot of these games. We're just completely relying on the data to tell us, what should happen in them. So to be above 500 without really kind of digging into the teams, the rosters, and even watching some of the games, I think is pretty good and highlights the value of the data.
Jeff, let's just say this, all right? You went from the first week, you can only do what? Go from the previous season, which you acknowledge, you put an asterisk next to saying, listen, transfer portal changes everything a lot of ways. In some, not a lot of ways, or always, some ways. And it changes it. And you put an asterisk to there, and you are over 500 for the season, and you don't watch these games, and so, or these teams, and so your knowledge, you're just going by data for a lot. And I think it's incredible that you're over 500. Now you take someone like me who goes, I go chicken, and I'm picking 3 of the top dogs, but I also know those teams, right? So this is not for just saying, hey man, if you just strictly go data, you're going to be over 500. But the bottom line is that you're supposed to take this and use it for your knowledge as well and what you feel. And you got to get your gut in there. You got to get everything in there. But again, this is incredible to me, man. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say no doubt. And, you know, it's just another input into your, you know, kind of machine or whatever you use, checking weather, checking injuries, checking all the things, check cover 2 while you're at it, right? And just to remind folks, you know, we're going to go through these slides, which are just a subset of slides. If you sign up at www.cover2.data, you would get the full package every week. That's, you know, about 100 pages for every Power 5 game, conference stats, and kind of the summary statistics as well. So, you know, feel free to sign up for that if you're interested in this stuff.
It's cover2data.com. And then, you know, you get in that Substack, so it's cool because it stores it for you on its own, app. So, I mean, again, it takes everything right out of there, and you can get one team or you can get all the teams in the Power 5. I mean, that's really what's crazy. But go ahead, come ACC weekly one pager. Let's start it off.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, we can go through the one pagers really quick. What I'm trying to highlight here is the 2 columns on the right are really kind of comparing the explosiveness of the offenses and defenses, PPAs, a predicted points added advanced stat, and then the success rate. So we compare offense versus defense versus each team, and then subtract them basically from each other to highlight who looks the best, and certainly do the same thing with like the over/under data. So we'll kind of talk about the 3 games on the ACC that are highlighted in red when we get to the one-pagers. If you flip to the Big Ten, the next slide, I like the Penn State and Ohio State games. Again, I'll talk about those when we get to the one-pagers. We have 3 games in the Big 12 that we're going to talk about, 3 in the Pac-12, and then 2 in the SEC. And with that, I guess we can get right into the first one there, which is Boston College.
I was just trying to make sure everybody can see all this right here. And, the other thing, too, that I thought was really cool was, looking at those games and seeing what's above the bar. But if you really want to play it safe like I did, I mean, it really, the data is way advanced. If you notice those 3 games, they were really high up there, were they not?
Yes, for sure. And that's our focus as well, to highlight games that just statistically stand out, and it's kind of a relative call too, right? I mean, they stand out versus each other, right? So you would think, and certainly is the case, that Vegas, when they're setting lines, use this data and certainly well more data beyond what we have. But, you would think that all of the lines would, all of those bubbles should be on the same line if the statistics mean the same thing for each of them at the end of the day. So when you get things that are well above it, something is standing out.
All right. So, hey, we got Boston College, Louisville. What do you like, the over? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I like the over in this one. The game's in Louisville. It's a 54 point, seems pretty low. Why do I think that's low? Because I look at the total success of Louisville's offense, and it's at 55%, which is super high. They actually have the best running back in Power 5 right now from a statistical PPA perspective. Jawar Jordan, he's super explosive. So I just think, Louisville by themselves, as good as their offense, is going to put up 35, 40 points. I actually did catch some of the BC game last week, and they looked pretty good versus Florida State, right? So I think when you got one of the better offenses in college football, through a few games, and BC, with a new quarterback as well at BC, who looked pretty good, I think 54 is just too low here.
All right, 54 is too low. Now, I'm going to say this for myself. I'm going to take Boston or Louisville and going with 14. I'm going to go. Yeah. I'm going to go with that myself, just because I think that I would make that call with Louisville. They do look good, do they not?
They do. And like I said, Jawar Jordan is an explosive back for sure.
All right. So very good. But you got to take the over with Boston College and Louisville. All right.
Yeah. And again, if you were to kind of reference that back to the over-under slide, that one stands out as well, right? That's why we're going.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So NC State, I like NC State in this one, 10 points. It is an away game, but Virginia, if you look at the defensive success rate they're giving up, it's over 51, basically 51%. So, that's just a horrible defense, quite frankly. The offense is really bad as well, 32% offensive success rate. So you have a really bad defense, really bad offense. NC State just, again, this is one that just sticks out, that it looks like NC State should beat these guys by more than 10.
Well, James Madison beat them. So, again, they're not having a good season. I forgot who they lost to last week. Virginia, I'm talking about, but it wasn't good. I agree with that bet for sure. That's a good one. I think that's a double down one to me. I don't know about that. I could be wrong, but Tony Gibson there, he's a homer with me, so I'm gonna go with Gibby there, shutting him down. Go ahead, Syracuse.
Cuse again, just to remind people, I'm a guy that grew up in Cuse. I'm a Cuse homer, but I like Syracuse in the over here. I have caught, all their games. I think they're under the radar. They're top 5, Power 5, top 5 in all of college football, offense and defense. Now they had 2 weak games, the first 2 games, but just beat Purdue on the road last week. Again, this doesn't, really, it's above the line, but not super above the line. But, knowing these guys as well as I do, they got a new offensive coordinator. He likes taking shots down the field. The offense is much more explosive than in the past, even after losing one of our best receivers for the year. Haven't caught Army. And again, they don't look horribly statistically here. I just think Syracuse at home is going to beat them by more than 2 touchdowns. And I like Syracuse putting up 35, 40 points every game. So I think 51, we'll see if Army can score 14 or so.
Well, I think they will just on the bone themselves. But let me ask you this. So Army defense, 40. Where does 40 stand out for you on giving on the defense?
I mean, that's middle of the road, so to speak, right? The low defenses are in that kind of 20 handle, the mids in the kind of 30 handle. And then, you start to get up into 45, 50s. You're a really bad defense is how I describe it.
So they have 40. I mean, they're entering, they're a little below the line, I would say, right?
Yeah, for sure. Now, a little bit better on the pass than the run. And Syracuse is a really good running team. I mean, I don't know if you saw their quarterback had 195 yards and 4 touchdowns last week. And, he's super tough. Garrett Schrader, I think, is way below the radar for what he does for the team. And like I said, the new offensive coordinator just loves to take shots. So, I like Syracuse here. I would like them even if I wasn't a Syracuse fan, just based on the data here.
Okay. Well, that's good to know you're not just being a homer. All right. Yeah. So when you look at this, you got Ohio State and
my bad here. I put Ohio State on here. I just I meant to put Notre Dame on here. I like Notre Dame on this.
Oh, wait a minute.
So scratch the Ohio State on that one. I made a mistake there. That's
all right. So listen, everybody. It's not Ohio State. It's ND now. All right. And why is that? I'm interested to hear this one. Let's look at the numbers.
Again, if you look at the box that I highlighted is, hey, let's look at Ohio State offense versus defense compared to Notre Dame's offense versus defense. And Notre Dame is better in both of those categories than Ohio State. So they're kind of net efficiency, offense versus defense, and whether you look at predicted points added or whether you look at the success rate, is currently better than Ohio State. Now, again, I don't know strength of schedule, how that plays out here, but when I see that and when I see Notre Dame getting points at home, that's why I, kind of make that call statistically. You can see Notre Dame is better in every offensive statistic. It's kind of mixed on the defensive side, but and as you look at the net numbers, Notre Dame is better in all 3 net numbers that we track. So, a little bit here, closer, so to speak, to the line. But, I like Notre Dame here at home. I'm a big fan of Hartman. I think he's, a really great quarterback.
Everything like this, Notre Dame, Ohio State's could be close to the line because you got 2 decent teams going at it. Yeah. And so when you look at that, but I'm going to say this to you, I would take, and I would, with the numbers and I would take Notre Dame straight up, head up, not even giving 3. So, I mean, I'm with you on this all the way. So that's cool, man. Well, we'll see how it comes out.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tight one. It's tough to always bet against or to ever bet against Ohio State. But I do agree. So, ND, we're going with Notre Dame. All right, go ahead now with Penn State. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, 14.5 point spread last we checked on this one. So, a bit of a big spread here, right? But if you look at the whether that's the success rates or the net success rates like Penn State in this game, big reason for that is Iowa's offense just looks really bad, right? I mean, if we talk about the offensive side of the ball for success rate, you're pretty good if you're kind of in that 55-ish range, right? You're kind of middle of the pack at 45, and they're nearly 35, right? So they're really bad offensively, through 3 games. And, Penn State's got a great defense, too. They're at 28% success rate. So you got a really bad offensive team going up against a really good defensive team.
That's tough. I'm telling you, that's a tough pick right there because Kirk Ferentz knows how to play defense. And that's a tough one. I don't know, man. So you're going to go Penn State with 14? 14.5?
Again, it stands out on both the success and PPA. So relying on the data, I look at this again, as you can see with the logos, Penn State's better in every statistical advanced category. Certainly understand 14.5 is a big spread on a 40-point over/under, but I just haven't seen much from Iowa offensively.
Yeah. Okay. I'm having a tough one on that one. All right. I'm gonna pass on that. I can't pass. Got to make the Wolfman's call. I can't be chicken. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with cover 2 data. I'm gonna say Drew Alar is gonna throw some big long balls, and he's gonna get in that running game with Singleton, and of course, I'm gonna go with cover 2 data. There you go, Jeff. You got it.
There we go. Like to hear it.
Yeah.
Next one here in the Big 12. Again, this one's conflicting for me because of how good Texas is playing, right? But I think Baylor at home needing wins. If you look at the stats, and again, Texas played Alabama, so of course their strength of schedule is tougher, which isn't incorporated into the stats necessarily. But if you look at the net numbers that are highlighted by the box, it's pretty close, right? So, at home, relatively kind of mixed, across the advanced stats. As good as Texas is playing, this is just really a call. It's a 13-point game, quite frankly.
So you got to take Baylor 13.
Well, I mean, it's a 14.5-point spread. My point being, I just think that they
they're
closer than 14.5. Yeah.
All right. So, but all right. You know what? I don't like Texas anyway, so I'm going Baylor. It's down to be your territory right down there, so I'm going to trust in you. All right.
I mean, and again, Texas playing great this year, but I'm still and you'll see I'm picking Ole Miss over Bama. I'm just still curious if, did they beat a really weak Alabama team this year? And everybody's kind of, hyping them up over that. When I look at Alabama and certainly against that Texas game, I don't know if you watched that, but I saw an offense that was just bad in Alabama, which you haven't seen in years, and a quarterback that just can't see the field. So.
Right on. All right. Well, here now we got a big one here. We got Oklahoma going to Cincinnati. You're not going to see that much ever again, but this will be the year that you see Oklahoma at Cincy. So what you got here, man? You're just going to go with the over?
Yeah, I like the over here. Again, kind of 14.5-point spread. Don't really like touching that. That didn't stick out to us statistically, but Oklahoma, going back to that range of success rates with 55 being really good, they're at 57%, right? So you got great offense. Of course, they've beaten up on some weaker teams, but at an under 60-point spread with any team pushing 60% on a success rate, I'd probably take that every single time, regardless of who they're playing, quite frankly. So I mean, both defenses look pretty good. Cincinnati's offense is middle of the road, and just Oklahoma's offense has been putting up 50, 60 points themselves every game, right? So
yeah. And I would definitely go the over on this. And since even 14.5, I would go with I'd go with Oklahoma.
Cool.
Yeah, I would. I really would. I'll mark that down for me. You did not do that. That is not cover 2, but I'm going to go with Oklahoma. And even though it's at Cincy, but I love the over. I love it. All right.
Yeah. I mean, Oklahoma, if you've watched them, they're just offensively just moving the ball up and down the field.
Oh, what's his name? Gabriel. Is it Dylan? Gabriel. Yeah, Dylan. And he's 82% completion percentage. Now, they got to be throwing a lot of screens, I'm telling you. But there's no doubt that is a high volume, high number. I realize the competition, but it is Oklahoma, and it looks to me like they are back. So, but I love those numbers there because that really makes you want to go the over. They really,
for sure.
So I'm just trying to help me to understand these numbers. So it's cool. It's cool.
I mean, if I was to pick one game this week, it'd probably be that that over. Quite frankly,
that over.
Okay, looks really interesting.
Very cool. All right. Oh, well, let's go. West Virginia. What do you got? You got WVU getting what? 6.5? I thought it was 6. All right.
I mean, it may be 6. I ran these numbers last night. The lines change, of course, and we have different sources. So 6, 6.5. Yeah. And I just want to remind your folks, we did have the first game versus Penn State. We didn't get data for WVU, so you really have 2 games of data versus 3 games of data here. But
Mhm.
and obviously their strength of schedule hasn't been super high the last couple of weeks. But West Virginia stands out here mathematically that they should win this game if you believe the numbers. But certainly, getting the points, you take them in this scenario. My guess is, without being able to run it, if we pull the Penn State game in, this would be a pretty even statistical matchup.
Yeah.
So even in that scenario, I'd probably take WVU if it's even getting the points at home.
Well, I'm getting WVU, but I'm taking the 6. I'm taking the 6.5. I got 6.5. That's what I'm doing. All right, very good. Good stuff. We're almost through here, but I'm enjoying this. All right, everybody wants to know Oregon, Colorado. What do the stats say, and where does rubber hit the road?
Yeah, I mean, this is the tough one for me this week, where this is just to kind of throw the caveat out here that going against my own data on this one. And this is just a gut call that I'm making. Oregon, this highlights, this would be above the line on both of our screens, that you should take Oregon in this game. But I just think Dion, their offense is explosive enough. Getting 21 points, I'm taking Colorado in this game.
Jeff, let me ask you this. Maybe you don't know this offhand, but how has Colorado done so far in the spread? I mean, TCU, they had to have gotten the spread on that one. What was the second one? Was it not Illinois? That was Kansas. The second one was Nebraska. They had to beat the spread on that or cover it. And I'm not sure about that. Was an overtime win against Colorado, so I'm not sure about that. But they got to at least be 2-1, right?
They're 2-3 against the spread and 2-3 versus the over/under.
Okay. All right, man. So here we go. You're going to take Colorado. That's more of a gut call for you, though, than it is the stats. The stats are saying take 21 by Oregon.
Yep.
I know they only won by 8 against Texas Tech. I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. I'm going to take Colorado, though. I'm going to stick right with you, man. I believe in what's going on out there. And although I will say this, man, they can't keep staying up all that time. I think it's going to be very difficult for them to pull out that victory against Oregon. I think very, very, extremely difficult, but I think they could be within 21.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, if you look at the stats for Colorado, the defense is kind of middle of the road. I mean, they're really not running the ball that well, so it really falls on Shedeur, quite frankly. It's a call on whether.
That's a good one to fall on, though. I'm going to tell
exactly. So.
All right, keep going here.
So Oregon State's the next one. This one again kind of just stands out to me that you take Oregon State here. They stand out statistically better. Better on both success rate and PPA. Significantly better on PPA, which means they're a more explosive team. A significantly more explosive team giving 2.5 points. I'll take them here. It's pretty mixed when you look at the statistics. I guess it's not that mixed, but Oregon State's kind of better in 75% of the stuff that we track. And like I said, that kind of 0.25 net PPA is fairly high.
Uh-huh.
So I like that, with them only giving 2.5.
And that's funny because I'm looking at Oregon State. Now they're both pissed off because they haven't been invited to the Big 12 and the Pac-12 fell apart. But now they're playing each other. So we'll see. I'm going to go with Oregon State. There
Cool.
You go. LSU. Yep. I think that's a good bet. I do think Washington State's playing good though.
Yeah, no doubt. It's going to be a close game. I like Oregon State a little bit there.
Me too.
That spread.
All right. How about this? Stanford, man. Arizona, U of A. Now you got ACC.
Stanford here. I just like Stanford, Arizona. I like the under on this one, 60.5. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me why it's that high. When we go back to that over under is lower than Oklahoma, Cincinnati. Right. So, higher than. So, if you look at like Stanford's, net success rate, net PPA, they're not, a great team. Arizona's defense looks pretty darn good, quite frankly, with a 33% success rate. So that's a good defense going up against a bad, or average to low end offense. So it just doesn't make sense to me that it's, a 60.5 point spread.
Gotcha. All right. Well, you know what? Yeah, I would say that I'd take the under as well. And I'm going to tell you, Stanford by 13. Woo. Oh, okay. I'm going to go Arizona with that one, man. I'm going to go out my own. Arizona, Stanford. The trees are not winning by 13 over you.
Oh, Stanford's getting 13, right? On that.
Oh, did I read that wrong?
Yeah.
Oh,
Stanford,
no. Oh,
Stanford
wait a
plus
second.
13.
Wait a minute. All right. No, I'm not. I'm just staying with the under then.
There you go.
Chicken Little.
There you go.
All right. No, I thought I was going to say you got to be kidding me on that. I was ready to take that one. All right. So now we got LSU, Arkansas. You're going to go Arkansas. What's up with that? They just lost.
Yeah, I hear you. I think BYU's a decent team to lose to, right? But again, just kind of the success rate relative to each other is just barely off, 3.1%. LSU's slightly better than.
Yeah.
Arkansas has actually got a more explosive net team, offense versus defense, despite the recent loss.
Well, they did score 30, right? They scored plus 30 on them, or 31 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, just 17.5, just based on these statistics, Arkansas better across the board defensively, really, other than on the pass success rate. Arkansas's defense is stopping the run, at 27% success rate. And that's what LSU's offense is good at. So you really have a rush success of 57% for LSU here, and a rush defense of 27% for Arkansas. So it's best versus best. And, at a 17% spread, or 17-point spread, that just makes sense to take Arkansas.
Well, that's actually, that's 17.5. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Arkansas all the way with that one, especially at home, right?
Yep.
Arkansas. Okay. There we go. We're going to keep on moving on here. I think are we down to the end here? Ole Miss?
Yeah, last one here. So Ole Miss, Alabama. It's at Alabama. This, like I said, this is kind of a bit of a gut call too, on top of the data. The data says Ole Miss should win this game. Ole Miss looks better, in most statistical categories. They look better on the net categories, comparing offenses and defenses across teams. And, again, the only thing I'm relying on here is that I watched a bit of that Alabama-Texas game where I'm injecting more of my own view. And like I said, I just don't think Milrose sees the field well. So most defenses this year will know that Alabama's going to be running the ball, and I think they can be stopped. And Ole Miss's offense looks good. So getting those points, looking across the board better statistically, I think they pull the upset off here.
And looking at Ole Miss defense against the run, 33 is not bad, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're good against the run. They're good against the pass.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. Yeah, okay. Hey, Lane Kiffin, if not now, to beat Nick Saban when, right?
Exactly. I think you've got one of the weakest we'll see if I'm right, but I think you got one of the weaker Alabama teams of recent years, quite frankly.
Yep, I see that, man. That is that's some really top quality stuff. I will tell you this, man. That is cool. I've just read a couple of things here before we go. Is Kelly McCourt? I subscribed. All right, Kelly, I'll give you a star on that one, man. And I got here. Let's go on to beat Texas Tech. All right, we'll go with that. And what is this one here? Wolf, you'll have to start showing a Gambler's Anonymous ad now for me. Yeah.
There you go.
I'm all fired up, man. All right, Keith, I got you there, buddy. That is good stuff. Anything else you want to add in? What is your one pick that you would say all week that you would go with besides the one over? What would you go ahead and stick your neck out at?
Other than the over that I mentioned, it'd probably be that Oregon State game, quite frankly.
2.5?
Yeah.
Okay, 2.5. All right, man. Well, hey, Jeff Davies, Cover 2 Data. Go ahead, cover2data.com. If you haven't signed up to it, you can sign up just for one team. And not only do you get this one-page weekly stuff, you get the pregame preview. You get the post-game summary. I mean, it's just a ton of good information, and it's not just for gambling. It's for pure enjoyment and pure knowledge. It really is. So again, I go ahead and do that. Jeff, thank you so much. Cover2data.com. Sign up, get it on Substack, and you will be having some fun.
Appreciate it, Wolfman. Always fun, and hope your listeners all have a great weekend.
Yeah, me too. I'll be going, man. Parlay 3. There you go. All right, see you, buddy.
All right, take care.
All right. Woo, that is some good stuff, man. And we're just beginning here. We just broke down WVU, broke down big games of the week, cover 2 data. No one else really has this. They just started this up. It's brand new. And you know what? He doesn't even watch all the other games to see it. And it comes out above 500 and that's just last year's. And it's the out-of-conference game schedules, a lot of the week ones too. So now watch it as it really gets into their conference schedules. This is the start of the Big 12 for WVU. Let's see. No more Pitts. No more dogged Pitts. Well, with that being said, I know this guy's got a lot to say about the Pitt Panther victory, and looking forward to breaking down the Texas Tech Red Raiders. And that is 1988 team captain center Kevin Koken. What's up, Coke?
Hey, Dale. How you doing today?
Doing good. Hey, let me ask you a question. I know you listened to some of that right there, so you're backstage. What are you thinking about those numbers? They're pretty cool, aren't they?
They're very cool. You take the analytic approach. There's your head, your heart, your gut, and you heard a little bit of the analytical picks. And there's one or two of those guts out there that maybe he's like, yeah, I'm leaning in the other way, right?
Yeah.
And
I guess did a couple of them for sure, but right. It's not there to be a sole 100%, man.
Right.
And, he's the first one to say that. But if you can go ahead and take the ones that are really good, and I'm just saying is, if you want to be secure, last week, man, like I said, I took the top 3, right, and put it on there, the top 3, and man, it was cool. It was big time, and it all won. You can be safe that way, or you can go ahead and get a little more adventuresome and get into it. But in my opinion, you got to put your knowledge into the data. And when
Absolutely.
You do that, now you're making a guess, because everything's a guess. Everything is. No one knows for sure. But, everybody had a team has a bad day rolling out. All of a sudden, they ate the wrong cereal in the morning. That's not the same. And it's just a different scenario comes out. But different scenario for the Mountaineers than last year against the Pitt Panthers, as the Mountaineers came out and pretty much shut down those Pitt Panthers on both sides of the ball. Coke, what do you think?
I loved it. I was there, from start to finish, through the songs at the beginning and through the songs at the end. And, first off, I want to give a call out to all of the fans, because, in my view, and sitting there, nothing shortfall of the team or the coaches or anything that happened, but the fans willed that victory. They stayed totally connected and electric the entire time. Now, how does that feel when you're on the field? It translates into, I'm going to put it together, right? I'm going to maybe give a little bit more, maybe give a little bit harder on every single play. And it resonated. And it resonated across the fronts, right? On a defensive front and on our offensive front, where we took command of the game. Now, it wasn't a blowout. I picked 17. We got 11. I was banking, Dale, right at the end there. I was banking. I'm like, I need that one more touchdown to look good on Dale's show.
Well, that's so important right now. You got to go ahead and show out. But let me ask you, Coke. When you saw that, it was 17-6. It was not a pretty game. It was an offensive, or no, let's say it was an in the trenches game for West Virginia on both sides of the ball. And so it wasn't pretty, but it was fun for us as trench guys.
Yeah.
But it really didn't matter. Did it, with the heat of the passion, did it really, really matter?
I think so. I think it did. I think it did, because it just gave the extra energy. It gave the extra push, the extra drive, the extra commitment, and the extra, the shirts going into the game, our state versus your city. Our state showed up, and I think that means a lot. Not I think, I know it means a lot to the players, and it meant a lot to every single fan in the stadium that night. And then all the Twitter that showed up over the next couple of days, celebrating the fandom, if you will. But we took command, and in last week's show we talked about up front, the nasty, the gritty, that's going to have to take command. It was an ugly game, but we've been on the end of on both ends of ugly games. You think back, heck, you go all the way back to when we were playing Dale. We had a 10-10 tie. We had a 6-3 game. Back in the 80s. Those were like ridiculous. You're talking about ugly games. At least there were some points being scored, a little bit more. But pick out the ball, started out, went down strong. It's kind of like, oh boy, what's going on here? But we were regrouped, and we, Garrett going down. A little trepidation, a little bit like, oh boy, what's going to happen? I thought Nico came in and took command. He didn't set the world on fire, but he won the football game. And we put some things together really well across both fronts at critical times. We talked about, I thought that the one determining factor when you looked at Pitt against Cincinnati, and if you remember, I'm like, they have a 17-play drive for 69 yards, and they only end up getting a field goal. But when you put that together, you wear down a team. Well, last week, we had a 13-play drive, 46 yards, and a touchdown by CJ at the end for 7 minutes. We had the ball for almost 7 minutes and 20 seconds. That wears people down, and that's where up front, taking ownership of what's going on, and we were wearing them down up front on the offensive front, and then on defense, it wasn't as long, right? We were wearing them down, but we were beating them up. We were hurting people, not injuring, but hurting.
No, but there's a difference, and that's a good difference. That's what you do in football, because then you take the will away from them. Then you take their will to go ahead and keep playing hard. You can tell. Was it not the best thing in the world when you were playing center and the offensive line was smacking, especially yourself smacking, and you just saw the will drain out of their eyes, knowing that they were defeated. Their snap wasn't the same. Their quickness wasn't the same. Just knowing that it was over. Isn't that a great feeling?
Absolutely. You know what, Wolf? It was like Rocky in the 15th round when Apollo realized that Balboa was coming out for more.
Yeah.
And Apollo just like, oh no.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And that is it. You're so right, man. It's so cool. Okay. So here, before we go into Texas Tech, let's go ahead and talk right here. Here's a trivia question for you all. All right. I'm going to make this really, really easy. What Mountaineer started off with the St. Louis Cardinals, okay, and then left to go to the Arizona Cardinals, but then return as the first year for the St. Louis Rams. The only NFL player ever to leave St. Louis and then return to St. Louis on two different teams. Who could that be? What Mountaineer? All right, if you get that, then you can go ahead, put it up here. If you get that, you can go ahead and I will give you 2 tickets. Now, you better be subscribed. I'm going to just go on the fact that I'm going to trust you, but at Wolfley64, right, on YouTube, you go to that search bar, you hit that circle, whatever you call that. What do you call that, Coke? That A thing. Like
ampersand.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, I just do it as at, right? Okay, so at Wolfley64. Again, you're showing your incredible knowledge over mine, and that's okay. I don't even mind that. It doesn't even bother me because you were a center, I was a guard. That's the way it was supposed to be. You were telling us where the mic was, all that stuff right there, all those calls, making them. All right, so you know what? That just falls right in line. And so if you got that, all right, you only do it. If you need to, I'll tell you what it is. I really got to get rid of these 2 tickets, all right? But Coke, let's go ahead. Let's break down this Texas Tech team. I am seeing, we'll go with their offense first. You got Schoaf in there. It's more of a balanced offense than ever the air raid was. but they still had the most attempts with 118 in the Big 12 through the 3 weeks in the games. And you look at this offense, I'm seeing a lot of old players. And on defense as well. But now we're looking at the offense. What stands out to you about this offense that you like? And, what do you think that maybe there's a crack or two in there?
Sure. Well, I guess when you're saying old, you're meaning that they're a junior or a senior, right?
Yes.
But really, you got your key players in your key positions that are returning starters, but up front, none of them are returning starters. So you could be old, not be a returning starter, and so that means something over time, right? So when you think of their experience, I'm not saying they're inexperienced, and we're 3 games in, and okay, they've started for 3 games. They got beat up a little bit by Wyoming, got beat up a little bit by okay, now I'm having
Oregon.
There you go, Oregon. And then I actually had to Google Tolger. I don't even get it wrong now. What college is that they beat last week?
Oh, Tarleton State.
Yeah.
41-3. Was it? Okay, Tarleton State. You had to Google it. Yes, exactly.
So you're like, okay, well, what do we got here? Well,
Kelly, excuse me. No, Kelly, it's not Mark Bulger. Keep going. It's a Mountaineer. He might even be related to someone.
Yeah. I think I knew the answer on the third word you said. Well,
all right, keep going. All right, okay, so you said Tarleton State. They made a 41-3. What do you say?
Right. But okay, so they've thrown, or they've scored 9 touchdowns. Scored 9 touchdowns. He's thrown for 900 yards. He's also thrown 4 picks. Oh, and by the way, he's been sacked 9 times. Right. So let's talk about that veteran offensive line, or lack of veteran offensive line. And what we maybe can do up front, which is exactly what we did last week, was disrupt the thrower. Now maybe Churkovic helped us a little bit by panicking, but you know what? Our defensive front, they came with some different packages, right? Sometimes it was just straight up, 3 or 4 on 5 or 6, and we still got pressure. So I think we can put a lot of pressure on this guy. The running game. Okay, so Bradley, Brock's 36 carries, 363 yards. He's 7.3 yards per carry. They can run the ball, right? But can they run it against a front like ours? I don't think so. Valdez is coming back from his injury, so maybe that complements, and you'll see how that plays out. But they have a potent offense, a potentially potent offense, but it's been too inconsistent. And when you put pressure on them, they make mistakes. They make mistakes by giving up a sack, or they make mistakes by giving up or throwing an interception. Mm-hmm. Between their 2 receivers, Bradley and Price, 17 and 12 catches respectively, 211 yards, 118 yards. Good receivers, right? And in the tradition of air raid offense, they're going to come after you, and they have the ability to do it. As a matter of fact, 48-10 last year, they put it to us, and they might be still scoring if that game didn't end right now, because we could not stop them last year.
Well, we didn't try to touch them.
Right.
They were playing out there. Remember that?
Yeah, it was 2-hand tag. So I think we have a different defense this year. I think that we're getting in that mojo right now on our defensive front, where Duquesne, we should have done what we did to Duquesne, right? Let's all be honest. We should have done that. Last week, it was an ugly game, and maybe Pitt's not that good, but you know darn well that when you have a rivalry game, you have to show up and play all 4 quarters. We played all 4 quarters on both fronts, and I think we're going to attack these guys this week, and really, really show some weaknesses on that offensive line.
Think about that. Neil Brown, 0-4, big goose egg, man, against the Texas Tech Red Raiders. It's got to be, and he really started out his major Power 5 coaching there as an offensive coordinator. So it really, I think, is kind of getting underneath his skin that he hasn't been able to beat. I mean, it's not like Texas Tech is Oklahoma, all right? I mean, there's a difference there. So something's going on. I think he's really going to be fired up. I think he's really going to unleash. And so let's go ahead with that, being that he's going to pull on all stops, because he doesn't want to be 0-5 against them. And look at this defense. And again, I'm going to say, five players, they got 6-year COVID, man. If they got 6, I mean, you got right here. Go look at this. Now, you said about the other offensive line, and I agree with you, man, but defensive nose tackle, 4 letters. Defensive tackle, 4 letters, right? You have the edge. He's got 1 letter, but he's 6'6", 280, supposed to replace the dude that went in the first round. And then you look at 2 letters and 3 letters, and again, 2 letters, 4 letters in the secondary. Look at this. Now, here's the thing, man, and I'm just trying to set this up for you to go ahead and tell me what you think. But they got 1 cornerback at 6'3", 220 pounds, right? These are senior 2 letters. The other cornerback is 6'3", 215 pounds, and he's got 2 letters. And you see this height of the secondary and backers. Not so much the D-line. Those guys are some nose pluggers. They're 6 foot and 6'1". But again, is what's going to happen here with this defense? And then, Coke, add that in there, man. And add that in there, the fact that what are they going to do to this Mountaineer offense, or try to do to this Mountaineer offense? Put it together for me, if you will.
Sure. Yeah, you're right. So you got 7 starters returning from last year, right? But not so fast. Am I allowed to steal that? Not so fast. From the legend over in Corso. But they've also given up 35 points. They've given up 38 points, and they've given up 3 points. All right. So they've shown some good things. They've got some experience, but they've also demonstrated that they can't make the stops. Right?
Yeah.
When you're putting up in 3 games, 2 games against Wyoming's pretty damn good football team. So is Oregon, but when you let them score over 35 points, 30 points, 35 and 38 points, there are cracks, and I believe up front, even with all of their experience, that our offensive line, and I love those guys, our offensive line, the experience we have there, coupled with the experience all together, and you know how important that is. When the linemen are all in sync, it becomes almost an unstoppable force.
Right.
So I believe we're going to own the offensive line again, and we're going to be able to run the football. Now, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Nico, right?
Well, listen, here's the deal. All right, you're going to say, well, Garrett's practiced twice, and blah, blah, and all that. And they're saying, who knows, right? It's got to be Nico. We know that, Coke. Trying to go and be a quarterback that's going to run on a sprained ankle, it's going to be extremely difficult.
We set Garrett up for a bad day if we bring him in, right?
I think so.
That said, keeping our cards close to the chest and saying, well, it might be Garrett. I'm okay with that, right? But I think it's going to be Nico. All right. So you got this rookie. He's still a rookie,
right,
but he's gonna look at his front. He's gonna look at his front and say, "You guys got me," and they're all gonna say, "I got you, I got you." Now, CJ a little bit banged up, but my understanding is he's still all in.
Oh, I think he's gonna stop. Yeah, I think he's good.
Right. So now, all right, their linebackers are pretty good. Pierce 25 tackles, and Cole. With 2 sacks, and the freshman Roberts who had his first start last week against Oregon. That guy sounds like a player. 12 in his first start, 12 tackles, 1.5 tackles for a loss, a credit for a sack, and a forced fumble. That's pretty good stuff, right? But that's okay. That's okay, because our guys up front are going to own that. I think we're going to come in and attack. And Dale, we talked about the tight end last week.
Yeah.
And, we were like, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 targets. Well, we missed. We were low. I think it was 3. 3 completions for 18 yards, but 1 was a touchdown.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Exposing what he's capable of doing. And I think this gives us a good advantage. These linebackers appear to be hungry. They want to creep up, and they want to try and stop that run. And more than likely, they're going to do that. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to double down on our tight end.
Okay.
The pop pass.
I saw it this weekend too, just not by WVU.
Yeah. The pop pass is going to come into play, because now especially after last week, with the power of our running game and what people are really seeing CJ capable of doing, they're going to put more people up in the box and try and stop us. That's only going to allow a little bit more to happen. 61 plays last week, and 51 of them are running plays.
Yeah,
and rightfully so, right? Let's wean in Nico. Let's get him a little bit of confidence. Let's build him up on what he's really good at. Now he's got a whole week for a game plan to be the starter, to be the guy, knowing it going into the week, or I'm sorry, going into weekend. I think we're going to be prepared. So we've got to attack them up the gut. We got to attack, as a matter of fact, until somebody proves they can stop us, we should go up the gut in between the tackles until then, right? Now that's going to, like we talked about, it's going to start opening things up. We're going to move Nico around a little bit this week. We're going to move him around a little bit to give him a little bit of that flexibility to use his athletic ability. And it might only be, I'd be surprised if we do a lot of passes longer than 15 or 20 yards. And that's not a knock on him, but let's put a game plan together that is built for a freshman quarterback to build confidence every series. Yep. 10-yard completion, 15-yard completion, 10-yard completion. And maybe, after we loosen everything up, we see the third or fourth quarter, if it's a close game, we're going to have to maybe open it up a little bit more and go a little bit deeper. But in the first half, for sure, I think it's a ball control, mid to low range passing game that really gets them to creep up, and then we open up.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think those 6'3", 220-pound corners are going to try to lock up. They're going to go man coverage. They're going to load that box scope. I think slants would be good. I think screens that are deceptive, maybe some jailbreaks up the middle. You could call them tunnel screens, whatever you want to call them. I do think they'll take a shot every now and then. But how about this? How about using that tight end and letting him be the first guy? I say this, Coke. Let Cole Taylor, all right, with a K, not a C, right? It's Cole Taylor. All right, let him go ahead and become a household name in Mountaineer Nation. And let's have him become a somewhat well-known name throughout the nation, because if he can become Nico's best friend, he can become Nico's, and let's say Garrett's in there. And the cool thing about Garrett being, maybe okay to go, even if Nico starts and he gets hurt, well, you throw Garrett in there and you just say, here, hand the ball off. Honestly. So that is an emergency plan, if you will, without going with the other freshmen. But with Nico, if you could go ahead and design the tight end screen, you saw that against Duquesne. A pop pass would be wonderful. I think something down the seam would be nice too, man, especially if they're going man coverage, right? Yep. I mean, you see him on the box. Why not send that big old turkey? And I say turkey in the best of ways, and I mean it, that he is going long striding down there, man. What's he got, a 5 foot or 6 foot safety on him? No, 5'11". They do have one safety at 6'2". All right, but that's still 5 inches difference there on height and arm length. I mean, I bet you he's got a wingspan of about 8 feet, 9 feet, whatever it is, or you have linebackers that are there. So, again, and when you see him run in the secondary, how many guys are bringing him down solo?
Not many.
Not many, right? It's taken some dudes. So, again, go ahead. And when they start to cover him up, well, that's when you got to go everywhere else, right? But they got to loosen up a little bit and not shut down the run. But let's face it, Coke. I thought last week it was an incredible game plan when you saw the 2 tight ends, 12 personnel. They were going in motion, right? What they were doing, though, was running the outside zone in reality, right? But they were in motion. But here's the deal. They were pulling, so they had 7 guys. Pitt had 7 guys in the box, right? Yeah. They actually went outside the box, but just right outside them. So they got him trapped in the middle there because they were so used to the inside zone with the Mountaineers. That was a great job by Neil. Now, I mean, we saw it 40 times. I mean, so it did get redundant, but we took it anyways. But, it was working because they never adapted to it. They never changed. Narduzzi never made a change to putting somebody outside the box, and they just went right on the edge of it. That's what they did. I thought it was brilliant, man. I really did. And to go ahead and do it, I thought that was the winning theme besides Jerkovic. That really, he looked bad, man. He looked bad. So, I don't know. Let's go. What's your final here? Surmise it. Special teams are going to be important. You saw West Virginia doing some moves on special teams against Pitt, but also, you know, there's some block against, they had a block against Oregon. Texas Tech is not bad in special teams as well. Add all that in, Coke. Offense, defense, special teams. How is this going to play out?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think there's going to be some points scored on both sides. You know, I feel really good about the progress we have up front on the defense. We didn't get a really good chance to check out, you know, the backside of that defense last week, quite honestly. I mean, now we came away with a couple of picks and there was some great play, and I'm all in on that, but some of that was a couple of really bad passes. Let's you know, we got to be honest when we look at the film, right? Yeah. So that said, that's got me a little bit nervous. So I think we'll probably give up more points than we want to, but I also believe that the ball control that number one, we have to go after this week, and number two, that we're going to be capable of doing, it is going to put us out in front and keep it in containment. But I think WVU wins by at least a touchdown, probably 10. You know, a touchdown and a field goal, because we're the ball control, whether it's to our number one man, Cole, and what we keep leaning into, or you know, a combination of you know, the run game and Cole, and maybe opening up a little bit. The ball control is what's going to separate us, and you know that we get 3 or 4 or 5, you know, 6, 7, 8 minute drives. They just won't have enough time to score enough to keep up with us. Yeah. So it's all about ball control. Yeah, don't. We had a couple of miscues last week in special teams. We got to clean that up. We had a couple of good things in special teams last week. We got to build upon that.
All right. Well, you got here Joey Foster saying right here, Coke, at I think WVU 24, Texas Tech 17, and 27-24. I think Timothy's going WVU. I'm sure. And what else here? Do we got? No, that's it right there. What say you, man? What's your score?
27.
You got to say at least 20 because you got to by a touchdown, or you could go 6. All right, you go with 6. I'll give you that.
I was going to say 27-35 plus. So when I say 35 plus, we will be 35 plus, maybe 38, maybe 42. We're going to put some points up. We're going to put some points up. This is the week the offense really breaks out against a non-Duquesne team.
Oh, yeah, very good, very good. That is right, man. All right. Well, Coke, listen, check this out. Hey, Kelly McCourt, Rod Wolfley's the answer to the trivia question. Yeah. You started out with Bolger, you went homer on me, Kelly, and then because that's an easy one with Bolger in St. Louis there, and then he went with Schmitty. Nope, Schmitty never played for St. Louis nor the Cardinals on Arizona, but he did play for the Eagles and I want to say the Raiders, right? Was it? Yeah. Or Raiders, yeah. Nobody better than Schmitty being an Eagle or a Raider. I mean, those two teams totally fit who the runaway beer truck is, right? So let's go. All right, Kevin Court, you won 2 tickets to the Texas Tech game, man. Congratulations. Nice. All right, Coke, anything else for the good of the cause?
Hey, it's Gold Rush time, folks, and you know, let's support the Mountaineers. It's going to be another big win. We're going to chalk this up, and it's going to happen on the Hogs.
All right, I like it. Let's put it on the Hogs all year long, man, all year long, and we should be all right. All right, Coke, thank you, brother. Take care now.
Thanks, everyone. Take care. Have a good weekend.
All right, Kevin Koken, 1988 team captain. He knows things. He knows things. That's for sure, and. He knows what the F button is. All right. So impressive. All right. Hey, good stuff what he called out there, man. Let me see here. What is Joey saying about this here now? Well, that's amazing. He thinks the WV offense will break out this week. Neil Brown was known for that until he got to West Virginia. Well, let's be honest, Joe. He didn't have a lot of. I mean, first of all, let's just be honest. Let's really be honest. He said he went ahead and he put his bets on Deggy, right, Jared, for 2.5 years. He started out with Austin Kendall. What the funny thing is about that is when we got Austin Kendall, good man, all that good stuff. But they were saying that he was actually competing at Oklahoma with Kyler Murray. Now, if that's competing, I want to know how he was competing with Kyler Murray, the special cat that he is. All right, so that's cool. Neil Brown, but again, I thought he made a mistake by putting his bets in there on Jared Deggy. Although there was no better option. There was no better. I mean, I will stand by the fact that I said Jared Deggy's your best option. People wanted a young Garrett Green who, I mean, he doesn't know how to read defenses. Doesn't know how to read it, man. And so that's what I'm going to go with. So let's go ahead and let's start off here with this. Getting this up here, we got some Texas Tech stats. I just got to go through this quickly with you. I did show you Big 12 stats yesterday. The Power Company brought us back on, man, which is cool. And so let's jump out. No more Power Company. No more, right? Very good. Well, you know what? Let me go here, and now we'll jump up here. Woo, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's take a look here in comparison. When you look at Texas Tech, WVU. All right, WVU scoring 29 points a game, allowing 20 points, right? Texas Tech scoring 35 points a game, allowing 25, all right? First downs, you can see that. That's all right. Rushing offense, here we go. WVU, 200 yards. That is solid, man, and only allowing 93. Neil Brown's record when they hold defenses below 100 yards rushing and his offense above 100, right? It improves dramatically. Okay, 162 or 63, we'll round it up for Texas Tech. But look at this. Oh, man, 143 yards that they're allowing right there on rushing. That's an advantage, WVU now. When you're breaking it down, you got advantage. WVU, right? 200 yards, and defensively, Texas Tech, 235 allowing. Woo, that could be a 250 equator there for the rushing. And so you're looking at a passing offense, WVU 179. That is going to be a struggle, I think, to go ahead and go try to get anything above 200. But when you're looking at the passing offense of Texas Tech is 271, but their passing defense allowing 235. So it's all right. That's not horrible, but it's not great either. Either is the word. Total offense, WVU 379, allowing 308. Texas Tech 434 yards total offense, right? And allowing 378. So again, the numbers looking at it, you heard from Cover 2 Data, Jeff Davies, you heard from Koken putting together. It's not bad. I mean, the Mountaineers in comparison right now are not in too bad a shape. You look at WVU, man, and the net punting average, 38.3. Don't let that deceive you, because what he's doing is they're actually putting it in good places. So I'm okay with the punting. They're only allowing 37 yards, so that's really good. Net punting average, Texas Tech 44, and they're holding opponents 37. Okay, so field goal attempts, it looks like Texas Tech's 5 for 9, so he'll miss. He will miss, and WVU is 1 for 1, and that is good. And he had a nice, solid 42-yarder. It was at home. Should be good. Time of possession, 32 minutes for WVU, 27 Tech. That's good for WVU. Third down conversion, here we go. 14 of 39, 36%. That needs to get better. 20 of 43 for Texas Tech. That's 47%. Look at the flip side. What's Texas Tech allowing? 44% of the third down. So, and WVU was good at 32%. So that's good on the third down. 12 of 38, 32%. I'd like to see it. 29 would be nice percentage points. Maybe they can go ahead and get something going there. Fourth downs, 50% WVU. 5 of 6 or 83% at Texas Tech, but you can see WVU is taking a lot more fourth downs. Don't go 4th and 4 on the 40-yard line. against Texas Tech, all right, because they can go ahead and hit you real quick. This is not Pitt, all right? Go ahead and punt that ball unless you feel really confident in your groove. That's what I'm saying to Neil Brown right off the bat. I like field position. It wins games. Sacks by yards. Just ask Dana Holgerson. He still hasn't learned, though. Sacks by yards. 5 of 34. WVU, 6. Giving up 6 sacks, 2 a game average. Now, you heard Coke say it. They've been giving up 10 sacks, right? They're giving up over 3 sacks a game. It's 3.33 is what it comes out to, but 10 sacks. You heard Coke say it, man, and they only got 6. So hopefully that falls in that right there. Let's go ahead and roll it right on through here. You see the offense here and what Coke was talking about. I'm just going to go quickly through this because we got to get some film and I want to get you out here. So Tyler Shelf, the quarterback, right? 6'5", 230. Dude's averaging, he's got the most attempts on the team rushing. Most attempts on the team rushing. You got Taj Brooks averaging 7.3 yards per rush. He's got 3 letters. You have Schaff at 2 letters, right? And then you go to this Jerron Bradley, 6'5", 220. I got film on him with his touchdown that he had against Oregon. 6'5", 220. Okay? It's going against our corners that are not even 6 foot, right? Or close to it. So you got to watch out for that. He's the leading receiver on the team. And then you go ahead with Miles Price, 5'10". He's got 3 letters. So you see this Jerron Bradley. He's a sophomore, so he's only got 1 letter. But then you look at Miles Price, he's got 3 letters. Then you look at Xavier White, okay, number 14. He's got 3 letters. You know, even Nehemiah Martinez has 2 letters. And then you see this Dre McCray, and he's 5'9", so he's even taller, but he's a slot guy. And, you know, Brady Boyd, and keep on going down there. X, 6'4". So now you got, what, a Z at 6'5", 220, and an X at 6'4", 215. Ooh. Did you hear me? All right, we'll keep on going because it gets a little bit scarier. Right here, tight end, Mason Tharp, 6'9", 270, 2 letters. 6'9", 270, and they're throwing him the ball before he was just a big blocker, right? 6'9". We're happy about a 6'7" tight end. Well, okay, I think there's no doubt in my mind Cole Taylor's much, much better athlete, but at 6'9", he's still a biggin', right? You gotta pay respects. 6'6", 260, next guy. They got 2 letters and 1 letter respectively. Left tackle, Monroe. I'm trying to go fast. I'm trying to get through this for you guys. Left tackle, Monroe Mills, 6'6", 315, 1 letter. Left guard, Cole Spencer, a senior redshirt. I don't know. He must be a transfer. Yeah, it's a transfer. So then you got Rusty Stotts, right? 6'5", 320. He's a senior transfer as well. They're big these guys are big, man. You got right guard, Wilburn, 6'3", 325. They're like our line, right? You got 1 letter. And Caleb Rogers. Now, here's a guy. Wait till you see this dude, right tackle, 6'5", 310 pull. He's a dude. There we go. Let's keep it rocking and rolling, man. Oh, defense right here. Check this out. So let's take a look here. When you look at those, I told you those cornerbacks. I keep talking about those cornerbacks because they're dudes, man. At 6'3", at 220, 163, 215. They both got 2 varsity letters. They know how to do it, right? Then you got 18, Tyler Owen, 6'2", 210. And then you got the one small guy at 5'11", right? At 5'11". 5'11" as safety, and he's got 4 letters. He's a senior, so he's a COVID dude. Because you know why? This defense has 5 dudes that are COVID dudes. They're all going to have 5 letters right now because they already earned them here. Look at here, nose tackle up there at the top left, right? 6 foot, 305, 4 letters, man. He's a dude. Defensive tackle, Tony Bradford, 6'1". So they're both stout guys like me, right? That 300. Bam! Jackie right on up. So Zach Frazier and that interior, Thomas Remock and Brendan Yates. You're going to have your work cut out for you. There's no doubt. These guys are legit. All right, you see 4 letters. Now, you look at this edge, Miles Coles. Now, I can't remember the dude that got drafted. He was top 7 pick, I'd say, for a team in the NFL, but he was leading it. So I know I'll get calls by that later. And then we go look at the will there. You got Josiah Pierre, 6'2", 240, 2 letters, right? And then you have Jacob Rodriguez at 6'1", 235. Well, these guys are thick, man. Well, how fast are they? 240, 235? I mean, they must be really fast, right? Or is there a way to work those edges around them, right? Because right up the middle might be tough. Might be tough. I want to show you some film, right? But look at this Ben Roberts, a 6'3", 230, freshman redshirt. Now, this dude's a dude, and he's just a youngin', right? So you try to fool him on some misdirection. And what the Mountaineers came out with the last time when you saw that they're either pulling or they're going in motion with the tight ends, and they're both going ahead and hitting that edge, or you saw the guard coming back. Usually the tight end would be on the side of the guard, right? It was the GH right there, counter, right? But no, you had the tight end come from the opposite side, and he stopped midway and went up and blocked. It was fantastic. Creativity. That was Neil Brown. You know what I mean? Maybe whoever it was. That was great. Let's keep it going. How about that pump pass to the tight end, right? Pump pass. Pump. Coach Neal used to go with his crooked finger right there. All right. So we got that going, and you're looking at that. These guys, did I miss anyone? No, you got Mouse Cole, got the quarterbacks, the star, player, he's 6'3", 215. I mean, this is a big 12. Don Williams 2 days ago covers the Lubbock Avalanche Journal. 36 years covering the Red Raiders, knows all about them. And looking at these, this is an old, experienced defense. Old, experienced defense, that's for sure. And it's more, that is something that you have to really be aggressive about. The one thing I can say is, man, boy, are they thick, all right? So just look at this real quick. I'm just going to go over it real quick. First year, Rusty stats. He's there. You have another guy with 32, Caleb Rogers, 32 career starts. Added tech roster 22, 6th year, 44 game starter at Western Kentucky, right? That would just be like Beanie Bishop right there, Western Kentucky. And then you look over here, 22, 2 years at Oklahoma State, shifting to left tackle, starting 10 games, right tackle. Yeah, all right, so all these guys got experience, right? All right, we'll keep moving on. Keep it moving, said the conductor. All right, quarterback. Oh, Tyler Schaaf. And let's just start out with Taj Brooks, because this is the guy, all right? This is what I want to talk about. And he's 5'10", 230 pounds, right? 7 yards per rush. How many rushes does he have? He's second on the team. Remember, I told you, Tyler Schaaf has 44 attempts, and Taj Brooks has 37. Okay, the quarterback, Tyler Schaaf, all right? And Tyler Schaaf is averaging 3 yards per rush, but he's also averaging 46 yards per game, or 90 yards for Taj Brooks. Okay, but, when you think about this, you heard Neil Brown say that he think he's going to be in the NFL. Wait till you see him light up an Oregon Duck in the red zone. Like, oh my goodness. 5'10", 230. I talked about that nose guard from Rutgers who was like, his face mask was right off the ground. Well, that was on a different show, so I'm getting my shows confused. But I talked about a nose guard. He was only about, I'd say he might have been 5'11". He was definitely under 6 foot. And it was just tough to rudabog him. You know what I mean? You had to get underneath him, and you had to rudabog him, right? Well, you know what? It's not fun to have to rudabog a dude with his face mask is 6 inches off the ground, and all he wants to do is keep his leverage. Because you know why? The low man wins. The low, I should have gone over that with Coke. I bet you Coke remembers that dog. And you go out there and you rudadog him out of there because you got to get lower and then bring him up and then push him back. But it's so long. Now, he ain't going to go left and right on you. And he's not going to go ahead and make that. But, boy, moving him, because that was the deal back then in our offensive lines, we had to get movement on dudes, man, and push them out there and to go ahead and have to do it. Well, the whole thing is this. When you're 5'10", 230, and you're in this Big 12 defense, right, and so many times you see guys to go 4 or 5 man box, the defensive box, right, and you look at everybody, they're straddling the box, 1 foot outside the box, 1 foot inside the box. And then the opposing, the offenses, they run that inside zone, man. And so what happens in that inside zone is you're coming up the middle. Well, that means those guys that are straddling the box, they got to do what? They got to come sideways at you, man, right, for that runner. So he's 5'10", he's a bowling ball, right? And he's powerful, and his legs are as thick as his upper torso, right? Because he's 5'10", 230. Right, and he's strong, and he squats a world of weight because he doesn't have to go down that far. You get what I'm saying? 5'10", you squat, right? He's a lot closer to the toilet than 6'5" guys. You know what I'm saying? All right. So again, he's a bowling ball, low center of gravity. So when you have these guys coming through there and they're not making those north-south tackles with their shoulders and their arms, now they're making that east-west tackle with their arms. What happens? You break through those tackles as runners when you're 5'10". Baylor started all of that, man, doing that when they were spreading people out and team defenses were trying to figure out what in the world Art Browse was doing. And he would go ahead and he push things out to the hashes and the numbers and spreading it out so that everybody was coming in and had those running backs. Well, that's the same thing here going on with Taj Brooks. And he's a heck of a runner. I told you, he's powerful, man. And when you look at it, you can see here. Now, you go to Tyler Schaff. He said, wait a second, he's 6'5", 230. Didn't we just go with Jerkovic from Pitt, who's 6'5", 230? Well, let me tell you something. It's a different world, man, because this guy is running about, he has 44 rushing attempts, 6'5", 230. I'm going to show you on film. He doesn't look bad. He doesn't suck at it, right? And then, of course, there might be a little bit of a controversy at quarterback because what's going to happen? I talked to an NFL scout, and he told me this. I'm not going to tell any names, of course not, but he says that Schultz will go ahead. He'll make a bad pass. He'll throw into a tight window, a window that's not open, if you know what I mean, right? Open, you want to throw into a closed window. You don't want to go there. That's why he has 7 touchdowns, but he also has 4 interceptions, right? All right, so the interceptions are not a good thing because they change momentum. They turn the field position around. All those things. You saw what happened against Pitt at the end there when all those turnovers took the life right out of the Panthers. Okay, let's continue on. And again, as you know, you go ahead, you look here at the defense. I just want to show you this right here. When you're looking here at Tony Bradford, like I said, stable on the defensive line, 49 games played, 28 games started. You know, you look at Jalen Hutchins here, 49 consecutive games for the Red Raiders, the nation's second longest active streak. Okay, this is good toughness. Thank goodness we got a Zach Frazier, right? Thank goodness we got an offensive line with Wyatt Milam and Doug Nestor and Brandon Yates and Tomas Remak, right? Thank goodness. And then you got here, obviously, the Miles Cole. He's 6'6", 280. Don't know if he's not the player that just got drafted by the first round. So that is good news. And he's young. And of course, that means an advantage for ability, hopefully, for WVU. And then you go ahead and you look here at these linebackers. I like this Ben Roberts. He's, you heard Koken talk about him. Coke did. And he's really a tough player. 6'3", 230. But again, Josiah Pierre, 6'2", 240, right? And then you look at 6'1", 235, 6'5", Steve Linton, 235. These are some big old linebackers, man. Can you run against them? Can you get them out in space where they're not as good as those 220-pound dudes, those 225-pound dudes? I mean, I'm not sure. I looked at the film. I'm not sure they're as nimble. Like, you get KJ out there one-on-one, a little shake and bake. I wouldn't advise trying to overpower these guys every time. They are tough. And, senior, junior, senior, right? I mean, they're nothing going on here. No one's going to hide nothing here. So let's continue on. And then look at this, man. So I talked to you about these DBs. This is tough now. When has WVU done well against man coverage? I haven't seen it in the Neil Brown era. I have not seen it. I think you're going to have to, as we talked about Coke, double down on the tight end. Coke said it. He was going to double down on the tight end. And when I think that you're going to have to, because these receivers, all right, here's a junior right there, cornerback, Rashad Williams, 6'3", 215. He made 27 starts at UCLA. What? Wait a minute. The UCLA transfer has made 27. Oh, no, he's made 27 starts at Texas Tech. Rashad Williams, 27 starts. He's 6'3", 215. How about this other cornerback? Flip to the other side. Bookends, right? 6'3", 220. He's Tech sole returner who was a member of last year's All-Big 12 team. And most productive season of career in 22, making 11 of 22 career starts. Started 11, 12 games, played in. And a dude, 6'3", 220. All right, let's take a look here. You got CJ Baskerville. He's the star. He's that, I guess you call him the nickel. He's that tweener right there. And the safety, Darian Taylor Demerson and Tyler Owens, man. So 6'2", 210. All right, that's big backfield. I want to know, how is this West Virginia offense, how is it going to get on this Texas Tech defense? All right, that's enough of that. I'm enough of that. I want to get to the film, man. I want to get onto it. So here we go. Whew. Joey Fun, great guest, WolfMan. They must be talking about Kevin Koken, right? All right, here we go. There you go, Coke. So let's get to the film, and then we'll finish this up and get you out of here. I mean, again, I'm going to say this to you. Kelly McCourty wins the 2 tickets, Kelly. I'll get that to you on your phone. I can just pass it on by the phone. And then, of course, we'll go ahead and get you ready. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you this, all right? I'm showing you, I bring in the cover 2 data. So we do analytics, all right? We do the big games, analytics. And then we go ahead and we do not only analytics, we get you Kevin Koken, 1918 captain, very astute, very, very good at what he does. And then, of course, we're looking at the stats that I just bring it for you, showing you all these guys, telling you about them. And now I'm going to show you their schemes. I'm going to show you how they play. And I'm going to tell you about them. So, again, giving you all you need for this Plants and Davis legal team. The first line of defense, sponsored by Parmar Stores. That's right. And looking at this is cool, man. Right? Very, very cool. Check it out. Bring it in. And we're going to get off to some really cool things right off the bat. But let's look at this. Texas Tech offense, 35 points a game. We went over that, 162 rushing, 271 passing, total 434. I can add, right? Yeah. All right. Taj Brooks, right there, number 28. Dude. All right. He's averaging 98 yards, or he's averaging 90 yards a game. Oh, it's actually 7.3 yards, not 17.2. All right. There's somebody did a Tech error on that. Don't blame me, man. I'm wearing a Buffalo Bills t-shirt and hat. All right. Here you go. So we're going to head roll this. Check this play out now, man. This is look at Big Radford down there. Oh boy, man. That's a hurting right there. That's a hurting. Look at it. Oh my goodness. You see that right here? Look at Big Man. What is he now? He's 6'5". Wait a minute, I got it right here. He's 6'5". Caleb Rogers, 310. He's got 3 letters. This is his 4th letter, right? How about this for a big guy? Coming off right there. Not a bad job by the offensive line there at Texas Tech. That's Oregon now, man. This ain't no joke. Don't get in the big man's way because he's going to keep trucking now. There you go. I love offensive linemen that can move. And Caleb Rogers, that dude's going NFL. All right? That's just period. All right. Tyler Schoaf. Now, they're having a little bit of that quarterback controversy. They're like, well, sometimes he's good, sometimes he's not good. Or, everybody wants that number 2 guy, right? All right, so we know how that goes when number 1's not playing so great. 62% completion percentage, 743 yards thus far, 7 TDs. But again, I told you, 4 picks, which is not good, and it didn't work out well. Did not work out well here, or the play here, the next play is coming up. But you can see the receivers now, right? The receivers are good. They're fast. Hey, these are the same dudes that we played against last year. Even Jalen Barron, all right? The 6'5", 220-pounder. You see that right there. That's 14. Again, that is Xavier White. 3 letters here. 3 letters. Xavier White. What's his receiving yardage, man? He's got a total 9 receptions for 9 yards of carry. So he is that slot guy, right? Working in there. But he's got 3 varsity letters. He's played against WVU 3 times, man. Tyler Schoaf. Now, he's getting 3 yards per rush, 3.1, I think, of what it broke down to. He has 44 rushes, but he's averaging 47 yards per game. Here he's in the red zone, right? Watch Taj Brooks, the running back. Oh, that's a linebacker for Oregon who he just jacks. Now, if he's going to do that blocking, how hard is this guy going to be running the ball? Well, that's why he does 7 yards per rush. Watch them pulling it. All this is just a guard, tight end, counter right here, quarterback counter. So again, you're adding the numbers to the box. What happens when the quarterback is the runner? Well, it adds the numbers to the box, so it makes the defenders have to go ahead and, well, they should put more in the box. Whether they do or not is up to them. But you can see the blocking. This is good blocking by an offensive line. This offense scores 35 points again. Scored 41 against Tarleton State. So you say 41, but they're averaging 35. And that's an Oregon and a Wyoming team. All right. So I think Wyoming's all right, too. I don't think that they were schnookers. All right, now watch. 28 here. Taj Brooks, watch him block. This is not why. This is a reason why he's going to be in the NFL next year. And I told you it's 5'10", 230 pounds. Really tough to bring down. But how about this, man? Now watch it. Watch the jack. Do you see him right there? Do you see him here coming to the linebacker? That's a linebacker. Oh, man, am I a fan of Taj Brooks? I'm telling you right now. Oh, it gets even better. Oh, it gets better. Look at that. You just got jacked by a running back. Oh, woo. Glad I don't play anymore. All right, so 4 picks for Tyler Schaff. You know, his decision closed windows. I told you about the NFL scout. I do believe that he has trouble here, and there's trouble a little bit in Lubbock. But you can see right there, that's the pick I'm talking about. It's not really there. Kind of looked a little bit like a Jerkovic throw from last week. And so you can look here. You got sacks against, 3.3. That's 116th in the country. And yeah, right here, Don Williams tried to sell me on the fact that they're more balanced offense, but they do have the most attempts at 118 in Big 12. That's most attempts. But he's right, though. So Don's he's not giving you he's not pulling your chain, I guess is a better word for it, because that would be 150 passes instead of 118. So they are more balanced. And Don Williams, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to re-release that solely, his interview on its own tomorrow in the morning in the AM, because it's all the information from a pro. You don't want to miss, because you know what? Because that pro was on here. That's right. I don't know. WolfMan's call, man. That's what we want to bring you every single time. Especially on your, I don't know why I think this is so funny. It's your pregame breakdown the day before. I think that's really funny. No one else gets my humor. I ask around and nobody's like, what's so funny about it? Well, I'll tell you what's funny about it. It's a pregame breakdown, which is game day breakdown. But it's the day before. All right. I guess it's just me. Here we go. All right, Tyler Schaff, right here, throwing the ball. You know, I could not determine who this receiver was, but I just wanted to break down the mechanics. This is nothing more than play-action pass. It's a split zone. You see the tight end crossing the line of formation here. The strength, that's just nothing more than a split zone play-action pass. He's going to hand it off here, and he's going to look down. 6'5", 230. I keep reminding him, for most attempts of rushing the ball, although he does get sacked, he's had 10 sacks, so that takes away his rushing average, but he does average 47 yards per game rushing. All right, that means, and you're going to see Oregon, that means that West Virginia is going to have to really watch out, especially when they rush those 3-man defensive lines. All right, trick play. All right, you know what? I don't care if it's Mike Leach, if it's Cliff Kingsbury, if it's Matt Wells, the coach, not the dude at WVU, or if it's Joey McGuire here, the head coach. But you know what? It's totally always trick plays. You see bunch into the boundary. All right, people are thinking, what is this? Oh, it's a screen. Now, let me just show you something here, all right? Because I want to make my point, because people say, well, if you're too hard, man. How far did I take that back here, right? This is the play before, right? But you're too hard on West Virginia's defense, right? And I'm like, no, I'm not too hard. I'm telling you, I want to play the right way. Look at this right here. You see, right, Penn State, you saw this, and you saw this guy here, number 6. He was 10 yards, and this dude here, all right, he was 12 yards deep, right? And then you see up here. Now, West Virginia, all right, That's how they played against Penn State. Now, you look at this. Look, you got two guys here. Now, yeah, he's deep there in case something goes out. They're going for a longer throw. But again, you got two guys at least over here instead of one dude here at 10 and 12. That's the difference. Here's what I'm saying. Oregon, playing it up, playing it tight. I don't lie. I'm not wrong. I'm not stupid in the game of football. All right? When you have numbers out there, you have to protect or to go ahead and just give up 10, 12 yards per whatever. Because that's what happens. All right? Because you can't have time to move down. Now, watch this here. This is a trick play, so it doesn't even come down to get in there. But you see this? All right, he's coming back around. Uh-oh, what happens? Oh, there's the throw. Okay, again, got to be ready. Defense, Jordan Leslie, defensive coordinator, be ready for a trick play, right? And you see Dane McCrae's a transfer in right there. And I don't think he's got many catches there for him. But, yeah, what does he have? He's got 7 catches, 82 yards, 12 yards catch. All right, but, again, the most important thing here is you got to go ahead and watch the trick play. They get him in, like the better protection right there by the running back. Of course, that's not Taj Brooks there because Taj Brooks would pick it up. Now, you got number 9. I would say Jerron Bailey, right? He's 6'5". I told you about him earlier, 220. He has 17 receptions, 211 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Right here, look at the fake. We all seen this. Didn't we see this against Duquesne, Hudson Clement? Yep, that's what we saw right here. But now you got a 6'5", 220-pounder doing this against Oregon. You see the ball up? Tyler Shelf, he's got a quick release. His only problem is that he will make bad decisions and throw into closed windows. And that's what I see. But that's a nice throw right there now. WVU secondary, be ready for a 6'5", 220-pound receiver. I keep saying they also got a 6'4" X, 215-pound receiver. They got some big uns in there, and those big uns can hurt you, especially when you're trying to play up. Look, you're trying to play up. Again, look at Oregon now. They're got one guy out here with these 2. Well, that's trouble. You got to defend the numbers, man. Up, and they both suck. Up, and whoopsie-daisy. There you go. Oh, now we're going to move to the defense here and show you the defense. Total defense, 86 in the country for FBS. 378 yards per game. We talked about it. Passing yards per game, 235. Rush, 143. That's not great right here. Again, look at the pressure beer they put on. I wanted to put this on because they do get pressure. They're not great with the sacks. They're kind of like WVU. But, man, watch the big boy here, man. And when you talk about this, this is what I think I put it on the play here. I can't remember the exact number here. But you see them. Watch the man coverage. Watch what they do. This is so cool here. All right, so you got Jalen Hutchins. He's 6 foot. He's 305. He's got 4 letters. 4 letters. 5 defensive players have COVID, which means they're getting their 6th year. Those are grown men over there on the defense. And you see him coming through. That's what I wanted to get at. I'll let it run here. They're taking them back there. The coverage. They're not afraid to go to man. Now, when you think of Oregon, I think of skilled receivers, and I'm thinking, man, these guys are they're not afraid to go man coverage. They're certainly not going to be afraid to go man coverage against WVU. How many receptions do the receivers have besides Hudson? And it was against Duquesne. How many receptions? Well, there's not. Yeah, Devin Carter had 6 against Penn State, and I would suspect Hudson Clement got 10. So he's in the top 10 of the Big 12 in receptions. Man, zero coverage. This is what I'm talking about. Look at this across the board. You got trips over here, and you got the tight end here. Right there, and you got the running back. So you got basically 11 personnel, 1 running back, 1 tight end, 3 here. But there's no one behind here now, man. So it's 3rd and 8. They're bringing heat, man. They're bringing the heat, and it's man zero coverage. Man across the board. And watch this. They're going to rush 6 right here. So they're not really. Think they're going to do that, Nico or Garrett? Yeah, I think so. So look at this. Quarterback gets out, and he slips out, right? All right. There you go. Man zero coverage. I just want you to see this. Watch it in slow motion. You can go ahead and see The quarterback slipping out. They don't get home. The Texas Tech's Red Raiders talking about they need to get home better, right? All right. Bring in 6 here. Last one here for this. But again, they are not afraid against the Oregon Ducks with their skill and their speed, because you know what? Texas Tech lines up and they feel like they have that speed. All right. Now that's where I should have cut it there on the slow motion. All right, very good. Now, watch this short yardage here. Opponent, third down, 46.5%. They're 96 in the country. So they're not great on third down. All right. This is not that's just third down. That's not short yardage third down. But I've got this short yardage to show you the film. Look at those dudes take off in the middle, man. And watch this here now. They got contained on the outside, right? We want to keep talking about what's this contained thing, man, right? Short yardage, opponent third down, 46, 96 in the country. What's this contained? Look at the outside guy. Okay, he's got contained. And when these guys go outside, he gets in the tackle. It's third and short, right? Okay. Now you're going to see here, I pointed out where you can see number 11. And now, look at this. Again, the running back goes outside, but he's in a position, leverage position, to go ahead and make the tackle with, you have a corner coming up for force right there. Okay? But, again, you got to have this, man. You got to have outside contain. You got to have your gap integrity. That's what I keep talking about. Gap integrity. I'm going to keep preaching it, man. And now you got here, Torrey Bradford. I told you about Jalen Hutchins, right? Now you got number 97 here, Torrey Bradford. He's 6'4". He's a load at 305 pounds and tough to get underneath there. Look how low this defense is. And it's 4th and 1. This is the Oregon Ducks now, right? Oregon Ducks. Boom. Not happening, right? Not happening. No push by the offensive line, because look at that defensive line. They're getting low. They're getting leverage. They're in there, man. And that makes a big, big difference, right? That's Texas Tech. These guys are tough. These guys are 6-year dudes. 6-year dudes. These guys are men, grown men, right? Thomas Remock, Brandon Yates, man. Keep it going. Zach Frazier, not worried about Zach. Not even worried about the other two. Just keep doing what you're doing. But you got to challenge. Is what I'm trying to tell you. You got to challenge, and you got to get low. These guys are coming low on short yardage. They're coming low. If you get high, you're going to get jacked up and pushed back. We've all seen that happen many times in recent years. All right, so, again, Texas Tech is no joke. I keep showing this, but, again, it's low. It's penetration. Quarterback doesn't even get close. Oregon Ducks quarterback doesn't get close, and they go ahead and they do it. Now, this is what I want to show this to you, because – right now, Oregon's going speed alignment and rushing the ball, and you can see here, Texas Tech is not ready. Secondary, defensive secondary, you're going to have to be ready for this. The reason I'm just showing this in, because you can see right here on film that they weren't over there guarding, because you can see it was one guy on two. Same old crud, right? Same old stuff. Again, you got to get over there. Know where you got to line up. WVU, you're going to have to go ahead and line up and keep it simple, man, and just play fundamental defense, because unless they're going in a huddle or going not super jet speed, because all I see about them, they go super jet speed, all right? And if they don't, then they change up. That's fine, and that's what they do. But when you go super jet speed, you got to know how to line up as a secondary. You got to know where the numbers are. You got to know I got 2 over here and I got 2 over there. What are your numbers, man? What's the numbers? Know it, because you got to get away. It's going to snap it now. So you better know it. You better be. You don't got time to talk about it. You don't got time to be over there. Hey, Burst, what's the? No. You got to one signal, one time, go with it, and line up. Because how many times we've seen missed alignment, misfits. Okay, not misfits like the Misfits Island. Misfits, the fits in offense and defense, fits, right? Get it? Misfit? Yeah, all right, cool. And so they go ahead and they check this out right off the bat. I need to see right here. I'm telling you right now, RPO with Marquis O. All right, if Nico's the dude, even if it's Garrett Green, I don't care who it is. Even if it's that, right? There's no, right there. There's no backstop here. Now, so my circle got all screwed up. I don't know what happened, but do you see this here? This guy here? All right. You saw the last time that the quarterback tried to run. So what they're doing is no backstop. They're going man coverage, but they're only bringing 5, right? Because they got this guy here on the TT, Texas Tech logo right there because he's spying the quarterback. And if Garrett Green or Nico Marchiol is running the ball, they'll go out and spy because they're not afraid to go man. They're not. And they're going to challenge the receivers and say, listen, I want you, Cortez Braham, you're going to have to beat me. All right? Hudson Clement, you redshirt freshman. You're going to have to beat me. You know who I am? I'm 6'4", I'm 220. I'm Malik. That's who I am. So that's what they got to do. They're going to challenge him. And so the receivers got to challenge him right back and look him straight in the eye and do what they got to do to beat man coverage. It's about effort. It's about will. That's what it's about. And again, I want to show you this, is that Texas Tech will even go ahead and spy. Yeah, that circle boy, that got whacked. I'll tell you that much. But you can see it right here. He's the spy guy, right? He's not doing nothing, but he's looking and then helping out with the tackles. But he's waiting to making sure that quarterback's not going to do what he just did 3 plays ago I showed you. Run the ball for a first down when they went man coverage and they brought 6. All right? That's the difference. They will change it up, and they're not afraid, as I said. And then you see no spy right here. All right? You see the guy running. All right? I think, you know, against with Tyler Schoaf, I think that they're going to have to go ahead and do a little bit of that. I think right here that what they're going to do with Nico or Garrett is if they hurt him with the run, they're going to have the spot. Just trying to show you here what you're looking at here, man. This is definitely long, and I'll tell you what. That's a bad missed tackle there, and that's what I wanted to say too. I forgot to say that earlier. I do think they have missed tackles out there. I do think that somehow they didn't have that physical camp that the Mountaineers had. I don't think that they had that. I don't. And I think that might, one special teams that I want to show. And this is a punt block. And I think it's in order to show it because special teams, especially in West Virginia, you can see here. Now, look, they brought 4. Instead of the 3, you see the 3-man wall. They brought 4, and they got it. And I'm just going to let it run here so you can see this. But special teams are going to be very important. Let's get some more block. And the Oliver Straw, man, I tell you, the dude's important. Oliver Straw, he's doing a great job. Let's win these special teams. I think Neil's really been focusing on him, of the staff, and I think he's winning a lot. We know he always talks about it, so I think he's doing good justice. But watch this. They bring 4 through. Only 3 can be blocked. And they get the block. So Texas Tech will try to do stuff. They will try to block the ball. You can see it right here. Take it up to 3, and then they bring the 4th guy to be free. Gets in there. They got the athletes. They got the length, man. They really do have the length. So, again, that is all of that. Very nice. All right. So here we go. Let's look at here. What do we got? Anything going on here? Oh, Joey's saying he wants a score. I'll give you a score, Joey. All right, here we go. Not score yet, but I'm going to say this. In conclusion, all right, on offense, the Mountaineers, okay, if Nico starts, all right, if Garrett starts, I have no idea. I haven't thought about the game plan except for him to hand the ball off because his ankle is going to hobble him and do whatever. But you're going to have to go ahead and develop some early plays for Nico to get rhythm, to get in there. He's first time starting. I think he's very capable of it. I think he's a very mature young man. I don't think the moment would be too big. Just like Penn State wasn't too big for the team, I don't think this Texas Tech game is going to be too big for Nico. I think he has to be able to call some plays. I think he has to be able to RPO, run pass option, right there, RPO, Marchiol. And if he has that ability to do so, because I do believe that they're going to try to stop the run. Now, with that being said, the Mountaineer offensive line, and I'm going to include those tight ends with him, and those receivers, as you saw them do against Pitt, you got to go ahead and you got to block. You know, when you see this defense and they're going to come up and challenge you, they're going to press you, man, they may back off a little bit too because they may go man soft, and they also may go cover 3. They also may go cover 4. I mean, they've been known to do it. They may go man free, okay, where there's just a free safety free and everybody else is man. They may go 2 deep, man under, 5 under, all right? They'll also do that when there's 2 deep and are free to help out for any type of, they feel like scoring long ball. I heard Kevin Koken say that they don't think there's going to be a lot of long balls in this. And I think he's probably right, but I think there'll be at least 2 shots. 2 shots down the field, I think, because that's what Neil does. He likes 2 shots. All right, so they got to run the ball. CJ, got Jalen in there. How about Jaheim White, man? Maybe something in the slot for him. Maybe that would be something you could really try to use his abilities. Again, I said that Nico's going to have to RPO. He's going to have to really be sharp. They fill in that box and stop the run. But I'm just going by what I think they're going to do, because why wouldn't you? That would be silly not to do it. And here's the deal. All right, offensively, you got to win on first down. If you can make the play calling at 2nd and 5 or more, if you can keep it at 3rd and short, the Mountaineers really will have great opportunities. It's that first down. If you're going to make it 2nd and 3rd and long, that's going to be a lot more difficult and harder for a young quarterback like Nico to be successful. You're going to have to run some screens. We're going to have to see how much are they got to come up on those receivers before you got to start taking shots to back them off. Because I guarantee you, if you take shots down there and they're up there on press coverage, they will back off to some degree, because they're just not going to sit there and just say, hey, if they're going to keep taking shots. I remember Dana against Baylor when we were getting crushed 72-43 to like 17 posts with Clint Trickett. Craziest thing I've ever saw. 17 posts. Just all I could do is throw a post, and you know what? A few of them had to hit just by the chance of odds. But anyways, got a little bit off track there. So you got to stretch out the defense a little bit. You got to take your shots. So because if they're just going to snuggle on up and cover on up, I'm afraid of what's going to happen to these receivers. Devin Carter, he's older. I'm not afraid of. I shouldn't say afraid. I'm never afraid of nothing. What are you afraid of? I'm concerned about that. But if Devin Carter, if he's healthy, if he's ready to go, he's an advanced guy. He's not the fastest guy, so he relies a lot on his experience of getting open. But there's also some young guys that you got. Bram, like I said, Hudson Clement is just still but a redshirt freshman. Now you're going against senior dudes. Again, senior dudes that are 6'4" or 6'3", 220, 215. Okay, for a redshirt freshman like Hudson Clement, and they're going to go up there if they're going to press and go man, and that's a challenge. Let's see though. Let's see what this young buck has. He hasn't disappointed thus far, and I imagine he won't ever disappoint. He just might have a stumble here or there in his career, as every young player has. Defensively, man, I'll tell you what. You're gonna have to watch out for Schoaf. Again, I told you he's got the most rushing attempts as a quarterback. 6'5", 230. He runs fluid. I showed you in the red zone there, especially in the red zone. All right, he's got a 62% completion percentage. He's better than what WVU has for completion percentage. All right, Garrett or Nico right now, or Nico's 60. Okay, but it was 6 out of 9. It's not a great example to pick from. But again, he's 62%. Does have 7 touchdowns, 4. All right, but listen, let me tell you this. All right, is that defensively, man, they're going to have to be aggressive. You have these receivers, 6'4", 6'5". If you're going to just sit there and lay back against these guys, they're going to eat your lunch. They already did it last year. You can't. If you come out anything like you did last year and you don't get into redirection on the number 2, the slot receiver, and you're going to play 10 yards off the ball on your X and your Z, they're gonna kill you. They're gonna RPO it. They're gonna go for 5-yard hitches, turn around, and it's 8 yards. Now it's 2nd and 2. That's what's gonna happen. You got to challenge these big guys, and you got to have your defense be ready to go. They got a tight end. I went over to tight end. He's 6'9" and a 6'6" guy. All right, they got 6'9" guys, 270 pounds. Right, it's 270. Yeah, he's 270. The other guy, 6'6", 260. Okay, they have some big old tight ends, and they like to use them. They'll go 12 personnel. They will do so. They're more 11 personnel team, but they will go 12. So again, if you don't challenge, if you don't play aggressive, these guys, they scored 35 points a game. So again, I would say to me that is impressive. And I look at their defense and I see 5 6-year guys on defense. I see a big defense. I see a tough defense. I see a defense, though, that can be beat. all right, and play well. So to me, this is what it's going to come down to, is I think that West Virginia is going to have to really just go man for man challenge. These are older guys on offense and defense. All right, the receivers. This is your game. I mean, let's see what happens. Cole Taylor, you have to develop some plays for Cole Taylor in this. Best friend, Garrett Green or Nico Morgan, it doesn't matter. You have to develop that. And quarterback, he's going to have to run the ball as well, I think. I think you're going to have to know when to pull that ball on the read zone. I think you got to know so. I think you really got to know when the run pass option, if it's second and say 7 and they're trying to load the box on you, man, go ahead and hit that. Do a slant. Do something. If they're blitzing on you, if they want to bring 6, like I showed you in the film, be ready with that tight end. Know that hot read. Because you know what? Even if there's a dude on him, he's still 6'7", Cole Taylor. Throw it high. All right? High to him, not high to the guy behind him is what I'm saying. They sit there and lay down and be ready for that. But you're going to have a hot read and get rid of the ball. And you're going to have to pull the ball as a quarterback and run as well. You got to make great decisions. This is a game about making great decisions, all right? Joey, I wish Neil Brown would take a shot downfield every series, open up and kill them with the run. Well, I mean, Joey, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'll put it up there for you so people can see it. But I think Neil has taken shots. All right, I think he did against Pitt as well. I mean, there's no doubt. The beautiful scheme against Pitt was that they ran outside the box, right on the edge of the box. And that was the focus point there. And that really caught them because they were going that 2 safety high. Corners were tied up on the receivers because they were playing tight. Now, we're going to see. Let's see how Texas Tech. I'm really interested to see how Texas Tech is going to play on the receivers and play there for the run support because they can run the ball so well. Alrighty. Well, let's get to it here. That's it. This is the Plants and Davis legal team, the first line of defense. Game day breakdown the day before the game. And, of course, it's Parmar Stores is the main sponsor of the WolfMan's Call. Appreciate it. We got some really good things coming up here with the WolfMan's Call and a lot of good stuff. So I'm really happy, really excited about what's going on. And let's just go ahead and get the network up. The network is so important to me. And I think I want to get that, Joey. I forgot that your thing down there, buddy. So, yep. But the network is so important to me because it's there. There's the people are loyal there, and I love to share their stuff, and I love to go there. And to me, these are the finest establishments all around the state, and even in PA with Archies up there on Carson Street, man, right there in the south side. And really love the wings and appreciate their support up there. It's tough right there in the Evil Empire. And then you have Route 22, the sports bar. And up there in Weirton, West Virginia, right there, a lot of good things going on there. They got 12, 50-inch TVs together. And they have, of course, a bottoms-up draft system and great food, great times, great music. And Calacino's down there in Beckley, West Virginia, Pizzeria and Sports Bar. Appreciate them. They got a lot of things going on. All the time I see them on their Facebook. And I'm always sharing all this stuff. So if you ever want to go to my personal Facebook page. And I'm sharing this stuff all good. Cantrell's River City Grill and Pub in Hinton, West Virginia, right on the river. Very cool place. Great seafood, great options of food. Aaron Gizzy out there, Legends Sports Bar and Grill, Cheat Lake, Lakeview Resort, getting those golf balls, get him ready to go, man. Hitting. Boy, I tell you, I'm terrible at golf. But the game is fun. Danny's down there in Princeton and Bluefield, or excuse me, don't want to mix that up, in Princeton, West Virginia. Appreciate it, Paige. Shout out to everybody down there. Hope you're watching today and appreciate you guys. And I love how you guys are 5 hours, 4.5 hours away from WVU and some of the most loyal fans. And Kegler Sports Bar and Grill in Morgantown, West Virginia. It is royalty. It is the hub. A lot going on. Even tonight, a lot going on there tonight. The 30-year reunion. And then you have the Jar Restaurant and Hotspot. It used to be the old Mason Jar Saloon, and new owners there doing great things. continuing on the tradition. And you have Jimbo's place there at Elkins and Buckhannon, Jimmy Pointer, running that out there. The king of Elkins and the king of Buckhannon, Jimmy Pointer, doing a great job. I see a lot of good stuff on Facebook, a lot of music. They had great wings. They got a picture of great wings and a great Philly cheesesteak. Very good. So you got Mel there at the Tap House at Oakland Street, right in Motown. And Melissa, she's out there amongst all the students, and it's got all the great craft beers and fantastic food, just really good. And then, of course, you got the Brickside Bar and Grille, Rob Davis, eat local. You have over 30 drafts on tap down in Bridgeport, West Virginia. It's good. It's good stuff. And he's got music. I mean, I think he just had George Shingleton in, and so they had some great music mix it with WVU football. Great place to go hang out. You got the Mason Jar Barbecue and more. Steve Reese, buddy of mine, Steve, down there in Fairmont, and unbutton those britches, man, so cool. And then, of course, last but not least, by any means, you got the Pitch restaurant and sports bar and grill. Cool setting. I keep talking about, but the food, they got these specials of prime rib that absolutely look fantastic. I was there a couple of weeks ago. Fantastic. And I did forget one. I forgot it. Sorry. The Pallet, where I had the pregame for Penn State down there in Scott Depot, Taze Valley. Love it there. All the craft beers they have there, the food, the appetizers, Haley, and the whole staff there, and hanging out in the chairs. It's like almost watching from your living room, man. Cool as cool. Hang out. Very, very cool. All right. That's that for the WolfMan's Call Network. Really love them. Really cool. Listen, the trivia question was Ron Wolfley, only player that left as a St. Louis Cardinal and returned as a St. Louis Ram. He went to Arizona. It was the Arizona Cardinals. Then it became the Phoenix Cardinals. Then it became the Arizona Cardinals. And then he went to the Browns for a few years before that first year that the Rams returned to St. Louis, or returned to St. Louis. Ronnie returned. So Kelly McCourt, you got it. You got 2 tickets for the Texas Tech game, and happy to get it to you, buddy. So congratulations. It says here, Joey, one last thing. What do you got to say, buddy? Is it bad for me to say I want a Holgerson offense and a Brown defense? What Brown defense are you talking about? Are you talking about, because the Brown defense, I think he's an offensive guy, so I don't know what Brown defense you want, Joey. But Holgerson offense, no, I'm okay with having an offense that can go ahead and pass the ball downfield, but the running game is pretty sweet. If they can't stop the run, Pitt couldn't stop the run last week. If you can't stop the rock, you can't win. Just simple as that. If you can't stop the rock, you can't win, because if that offense keeps continually driving and running and down the ball, they will wear your can out. Let's go, Mountaineers. Let's get ready. Let's get this game. I'm taking it right now. All right, so I'm saying this. I'm taking the cover 2 data, 6.5, Texas Tech, or WVU getting 6.5. Prediction, I'll call it out, Joey. My brain's telling me take the 6.5, but if you really want a prediction, I'll say this, that West Virginia wins 24-21. And I'm taking the 6.5, though, by Texas Tech. All right, or giving the WVU. All right, if that gives you any type of what I'm saying here. All right? Okay, everybody. Let's start off finish it off, I should say, with the best center in the nation. Zach Frazier. Zach, Thomas Remock, Brandon Yates, Wyatt Milam, Doug Nestor, Cole Taylor, Traylon Davis, all part of the offense, and anyone else that participates with them. Get down, get dirty. This is your team. This is your way if you want to win. Take care of the quarterback. Run the ball. If they can't stop the rock, they can't win. That's what I say. All right, everybody, have a great day. Tomorrow I'm releasing Don Williams solo, Texas Tech, the Lubbock Avalanche Journal. 36 years of covering the Red Raiders. Just going to release him separately from the show. Very good. Take care, everybody. Let's go, Mountaineers. Let's get that victory. First one for Neil Brown. Let's be 1-4 at the end of Saturday against the Texas Tech Red Raiders.
Hi, I'm Zach Frazier from Fairmont, and when I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Parmar store.
We have that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Buzzballs, ready-to-drink cocktails. #1 single-serve premix brand in the U.S. Buzzballs, have a ball. Stationers, #1 office supplier in West Virginia. Always in stock. How many? The anywhere, anytime chargers, powering a connected world. Never buy AA batteries again. Rechargeable 500 times plus. Paul Mini AA USB lithium battery, as easy to charge as your cell phone. Sustainable energy, stay charged. Go green, save green. Feel the power of Paul. Order now at paulmini.com.
West Virginia United.